Welcome to the MaSter Debaters, chumps. This is the show where we solve pop culture's problems one outrage at a time. I'm Abe, self-renowned host of the show, and joining me are three of the guys that have been humming My Sex Junk by Rachel Bloom all afternoon. First up, some are born great, some achieve greatness, some have greatness thrust upon them, and then there's Marty. What's up, man?
Wow, I never know where you're going with those, and then, but it's always a nice little jab.
Yeah, always.
Good evening.
Hey, what's up, man? Second up, it's the man who is either yelling at us in person or on his computer screen. He's so cool, he's frozen antifreeze. Friend to you and me, Jamil.
What's up, guys? How you doing, man?
Not too bad. How are you?
All right, doing all right.
All right. And finally, our guest this week wants us to know he's not on the show with us. We're on the show with him. He was cleared of all charges last month involving Tom Brady's missing jersey. It's Justin.
Yeah, that wasn't me. I wouldn't do that to Tom. Tom deserves better than that.
Oh,
so
okay.
To be clear about that.
All right. So you wouldn't steal it at all? Just
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that to Tom. He deserves the too much reverence for that to happen.
Yeah. Marty's hoping somebody steals some of his Jets jerseys out of his closet, right?
He's giving them away. Nobody will take them.
I can't talk too much. I'm not going to rock an Alex Smith jersey anytime soon. All right,
Hey,
chums.
Alex Smith will get you to the playoffs at least. I'll take him.
That's true. All right, guys, this is a debate show. I'm going to throw out three topics, maybe a bonus topic too. We'll see. I'm going to give each of you 60 seconds to make your points, and then I'm bouncing you harder than a sexually inappropriate pill mill doctor off an air flight. Let's get into it. Let's get into topic one.
Jeez.
The references tonight are off the chain.
Recently, The Simpsons lampooned the whole college/social justice movement. So, I mean, when The Simpsons makes fun of something, especially now, I want to know, is this the beginning of the end for the social justice crowd? Marty, you first.
I think it's more likely the beginning of the end of The Simpsons more than the social justice. I love the people who have not even mentioned The Simpsons last 5 years now are thinking it's the guiding force of our society. No, it's not. I think even our little bonus topic will show that social justice is alive and well. Last week, you saw Bill O'Reilly go off the air, not because of any of the horrible shit he did, but because people hounded their advertisers, hounded the network, hounded the big company, the Fox company as a whole to get rid of him, not because of anything he does. So Twitter power is still very powerful. It's not going to go away. I don't buy into these safe spaces arguments too much. I think The Simpsons, was a little almost hacky with this joke. I watched the video today, but yeah, social justice is not going away. It's not as bad, I think, as people make it out to be sometimes, but it goes too far, and I think that might change. I think people are course correcting on that front, but it's still going to be there.
All right, Jamil.
No, it's not going away. Unfortunately, look, not unfortunately. Look, I know I don't got man. Look, social justice comes from a good place. Feminism, LGBT, fighting against racism. But what this election has proven is that, how can I say this? That small shit don't matter. You correcting the motherfucker on a term or a pronoun, or they say something slightly uncouth. Like, you have to get your shit together. So I don't think it's going to die, but I think it has to evolve. Is it evolving? I don't know. Like I said, the bonus topic seems like it's not. The whole Ghost in the Shell thing, the whole Great Wall thing, I don't think it's going away, but it does have to evolve.
All right. You got
Stream close up.
You got 5 seconds. Yeah, that's it. All right. All right. Justin, knock some sense into them.
Well, there's a lot that can be said on this topic, obviously, but I actually agree with the evolution point in a way. In regards to The Simpsons, is it a sign that social justice is on its last legs? No, but it is a positive sign, because the irony here is in the 90s or even the 2000s, Simpsons would have been on the side of social justice. They wouldn't have been poking fun of these extreme things. But as it's known in the mainstream, social justice has become such an extreme that it's now even being lampooned by The Simpsons. But the evolution point is very well put, because this is a movement that's been going on since the history of time. It just constantly evolved. And it's the way of controlling people through guilt, of controlling people's actions through guilt and making them feel bad about being a certain way and then getting them to not do the things you don't want them to do. So it will change and it'll evolve, but there needs to be a major philosophical revolution for this to go away completely.
Whoa, yeah. You kind of agreed with the broad strokes of Jamil, and then you guys kind of went different directions, I think, huh?
Yes.
Does anybody want to address that?
I'm not sure we're smart enough anymore for broad revolutionary thinking.
How so?
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of this stuff stems from college. People give a lot of flack to colleges this week. There was another thing last week about Ann Coulter not speaking at Berkeley or whatever, and now she is going to speak. But it's not. It's a broader problem than that. It's not safe spaces in college. We've created safe spaces of our own choice. It's not. No one did this to us. We watch our own news. We have our own news feeds. We have our own spaces. This is how we've chosen to live, and we can, blame whoever we want on this one. But this is how society has evolved, and this is how we created it. And Twitter is now the conscience, maybe, of America. Our president leads through it, for right or wrong. And this is just how this is going to be. I think a course correction will eventually happen. We're not going to go as far one way or the other anymore, but this is just the world we live in. It's not, and I'm thinking you can't blame millennials. You can't blame, young people or whoever people want to blame for this stuff. It's just how we are now.
Is that true, Jamil? There's nobody to blame?
I mean, I blame Twitter. Look, I'm not a fascist, but the internet, the internet breeds a lot of bullshit, and it breeded a president. It has breeded like people losing their jobs over a joke. Look, at the end of the day, this shit would fix itself, hopefully. But you know what I'm saying? Like you just have to. I don't know. Look, y'all. I don't know what to say anymore. Okay, look. They should look. Maybe it's an echo chamber because everybody complained about Dave Chappelle, but he had the #1 show on Netflix. So maybe it's not as big of a deal as we think. But
I think that's true as well. I mean, I didn't even know about the Dave Chappelle thing being an issue until we brought it up on the show. I think some people overinflate issues that pop up on Twitter for a day or two, and then they're forgotten by the next week. So I think that's a part of it as well. These things kind of pop up on our news feeds, and they dominate the news cycle because we live in 24/7 news cycle days. But they don't have the lasting effects anymore. I mean, like you said, Chappelle's special was fine. No one's picketing Netflix over anything he said. So I think we make more of these things than we should sometimes.
Okay, I'm not going to let you guys talk about Chappelle again. Yes, or Marty specifically. All right. Justin, take us home on this one, man. What do you think of all this?
What do I think of sort of the echo chamber we live in?
Right.
Marty's comments and everything about Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, it's just pointing back to what I was saying, is it's a cultural issue. It's a long-term issue. And everything seems very short-term and immediate right now, but it's not. Because as we're starting to see, people are seeing that the Twitter crowd, the extreme form of the social justice crowd is very immediate. But the dangerous thing about it is not what Marty's saying. Marty, you are 100% correct that we're all living in our own little bubbles and we all have our own little subcultures that we find through the internet. And there's a lot of positive things to that. But the problem is when it becomes externally focused and people become focused on changing the behaviors of others rather than worrying about their own lives. And that's the problem we're seeing when we see the extreme events such as Berkeley, which you guys brought up. When you have Antifa who's out there more worried about what other people are doing than what they're doing themselves, when Antifa's out there hurting people and attacking people because they're saying we're worried about what Milo is saying or we're worried about what Ann Coulter is saying, that's when it becomes a problem. And that's the issue that I'm saying needs to be fixed in the long run, and that's where the philosophical revolution needs to occur is why are we so externally focused and why are we not internally focused?
It's almost like book burning for liberals, in my opinion, to try to shut people up. Like, this is the thing, right? You don't like Ann Coulter or what's his name? Milo
Yiannopoulos.
Yeah, you don't like these people. I don't like them either. You know what I'm saying? But the way to combat that is not to silence them, because this country is built on free speech. This country, even hate speech, even though I don't think it's that extreme, I don't think they're necessarily like Nazis or anything, neither one of them. But if you want if you want to challenge, you have to challenge them. You can't shut them up, because when you shut them up, it only makes them stronger. It only makes that echo chamber louder for their base. You have to shut them up. Usually in those colleges are meant for exchanging ideas. Even it makes you fucking uncomfortable. Even if you don't agree. That's why you debate. That's why you reach like an understanding, even if you don't agree. You know.
You see, but that doesn't even work, though. I mean, I've seen Ann Coulter talk to Bill Maher or talk to any liberal, or even Milo was on with other people. One person shouts their talking point, the other person says what they feel, and then no one agrees to disagree.
I'm going to jump in there real quick. To be fair, Bill Maher was a little soft on Milo, I agree, but they just had a one-on-one chat, and then they lost their minds because he was humanizing. He was normalizing Milo.
Jon Stewart spoke to Bill O'Reilly 100 times over the years. No one ever changed their mind. No one changes their mind anymore. It's ratings. It's book sales.
It's not about changing minds. It's not about changing minds. It's about looking at other viewpoints. Even if you don't agree, it's always good to get other viewpoints.
You really think Ann Coulter has a problem getting her viewpoint out there, though? I mean, if she doesn't speak at Berkeley, she has 100 books.
This is my thing. If I don't like Ann Coulter as a college student, because usually with these talks, there's usually a Q&A session. You challenge her. That's what you do. If I was an angry college student, that's what I would do. I would go to these things during the Q&A session and challenge her. You don't say, shut up, you can't talk here. That's not how the world works. There is no safe spaces. There's not. I'm a fucking black man. I can tell you there ain't no goddamn safe spaces no fucking where. You can't do that shit. You can't live in your own fucking book. Look, we live. Look, this right here is mainly an entertainment and movie podcast. There's a show on fucking Netflix right now called 13 something whatever, which apparently takes like a really thoughtful look about suicide and like teenage bullying. Now they're saying, well, maybe some teenagers shouldn't see that. Like, no, they should fucking see it, because eventually this will affect what we like. It will affect our art, because everything will be sanitary.
Well, I don't know if it will affect is the right thing. I think it has affected. It's probably
correct. We're already there.
We're there. If you can't make a show, a thoughtful show about teenage suicide and its effects, then what the fuck are we at doing? What other movies are we going to have? Are we just going to have superheroes and Transformers and fucking Fast and Furious movies? Hell, they'll fucking find something to complain about that eventually.
Yeah, they will. They will. All right, that's just the perfect spot to end it. This one went way longer than I imagined.
All right.
That's all. It
was good, though.
Yeah, it was good. Jamil brought it. Justin brought it. Marty?
Participation? I just get yelled at. Yeah. I get yelled at all the time.
That's what your function is, isn't it? All right, topic 2. I stole this one from Reddit. Their little movie subreddit asked the question, what controversy for a movie do you think was just over the top or blown way out of proportion? Did it make you roll your eyes? Did it make you laugh? Did it make you rage? I'm going to put the question to you guys. What movie controversy was just blown way out of proportion? Jamil?
For me, it's the whole Black Willow farmhouse scene where she said she's a monster for not having, maybe she said she's a monster for not having children and being like an assassin. I just watched the scene. She says a lot of things besides her being sterile. But the thing is this, with these type of things, it goes back to the social justice thing. It's all connected. It's like women can't have certain thoughts. Like I know a couple of women who can't have children and they feel terrible about it. So it's not out the realm of possibility that a woman will feel terrible for not having children and less than. Now she's not, but that's actually a good, character plot point. But she was also talking about the fact that she's, a fucking mass murderer. She might have been talking about the fact that she's a monster for that. Like, maybe it's all of it together. I think that was blown out of proportion.
I got you. Justin, take it.
Well, it was certainly all of that. And I mean, you're raising a very good point. It goes to exactly the point I'm going to make as well. With that scene, Whedon was playing with the idea of life and giving life versus taking life. And part of being a woman is the ability to give life. That's something that women can do that we as men cannot do, right? They can carry life and birth new life. We can't. And that's part of what they are. So to have a female assassin consider that, it's very compelling. It's compelling drama. And what they're undermining is they're undermining reality, and they create these false conflicts because of that. And the conflict for me was the billboard for X-Men Apocalypse, where we had Apocalypse choking Jennifer Lawrence. And everyone was like, oh my God, it's abuse against women, it's violence against women, blah, blah, blah. It's a villain. The fact that we can't say it's a villain who's attacking a fan favorite actor and a fan favorite character, they've made that character a big deal, shows that we're undermining reality here in the same way that Jamil's talking about. We can't even look at just what Black Widow is as what her basic nature is. It's the same thing.
Oh, man. All right. Martin.
I'm going to circle back to Justin's point when we get back to it, because I actually thought that was a bit out of touch. But I'm going to go a little more recent with the Beauty and the Beast movie that came out just a month ago, actually, where people were complaining that the LaFouf character was too gay, and somehow that would mean that LaFouf, that movie wasn't going to make as much money as it could because of the gay character. And last I checked, it made over $1 billion. So I think people are a little more, parents maybe or don't think their kids can deal with gay. I think the one good thing we can say about the generations coming behind us is that they're more than comfortable with gay issues. I don't think they care about that stuff as much as maybe the older generation does. So the fact that the Vatican didn't play Beauty and the Beast, or a couple of countries here and there wouldn't play it because of that issue, I thought was just funny, because it's a movie about, a singing clock. And the fact that people had an issue about one character being overtly gay was just funny to me. So that was the one that maybe just rolled my eyes.
Cool. I got to kill the clock, as customary. There we go. You said you wanted to say something else about Justin's point?
I remember seeing, when I saw that I don't know what was going on around the time of that movie came out. There was some kind of big story about, I forget what happened, but there was a big abuse story going on. I forget who it was. It was entertainment.
Rose McGowan was one that made it.
Might have been that. It might have been all the Johnny Depp stuff too, where he was hitting his wife or something. And I remember just driving and seeing, like, all of a sudden you look up and there's this gigantic billboard of Jennifer Lawrence being choked out. And the fact that it's not so much even that it was, wow, that's weird. It was also not that big a point of the movie. It was they're just two characters in the movie, so it wasn't like that was the crux of the film. So the fact that they went with that, no one, like, when they put that billboard out, no one said, wow, that's unnecessary. It kind of was like, wow, that no one thought that might get some blowback. And it's not like it was a art film or this is a movie that you're hoping to make $1 billion with it. So you're trying to get everybody in. So you're not trying to be controversial really with these billboards. So the fact that no one looked at it and said, maybe that's not the message we want out right now, I thought was weird. And not so much, I wasn't offended. It was just like, well, that's an odd choice.
My point is this, right? I'm all for equality, right? So when I look at that billboard, I don't see a man choking out a woman. I see the main villain choking out the main hero, and it's two fucking blue people. Like, this is the thing.
But she wasn't really the main hero, even in the movie.
Yes, she is. That's the fucking problem with that goddamn movie. She's the fucking main hero. Shit.
And most of the movie, she wasn't in the blue paint either, because she just got lazy and didn't want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's my point, though. But again, it goes back to the sanitary thing. If we can't have the hero choke, if we can't have the villain choke the hero because she's a woman, doesn't that send just a bad of a message? Like
exactly. 100%. It shouldn't be controversial to have a billboard of a villain choking the hero. That should not be controversial. It should establish. If you see a character you don't know choking Jennifer Lawrence, who's the hero, you should go, oh, that's the villain. Oh, wow, that's fucked up. I hope they beat him. I want to go and see them beat him. That's the point of the movie, to see the good guys beat the bad guys.
Look, it's these weird respectability politics that I don't like. Like, again, as a black man, I get tired of seeing movies where I'm like I'm a fucking butler or some inspirational character. Like, I can't have emotional depth for my movies to get recognized. Like, it always had to be some sanitary. I had to be some sanitary good guy. Like you know what I'm saying? It's the same fucking thing. You have to let these characters be. It just can't be about black, white, man, woman. It has to be, especially in this case, hero, villain. And again, it's all about sanitary. Same thing with the scene in fucking Avengers. Like, look, we all have complaints about I love the Marvel movies, but we all have complaints about lack of depth of character. And Josh, we tried one fucking time to give some depth to a character, and he is shitted on for it.
Yeah.
One fucking time he attempts to give these movies at least a little bit of something besides like action, and he shit on it. So why would they ever even attempt to even give these characters depth ever again if somebody's always gonna shit on it?
I love how all our topics tie into each other tonight. It's really
Worked pretty well. Worked pretty well.
It did.
All right, let's move on. Yeah, I think we can still do this in time. Let's go on to topic 3. I just want to say real quick, in X-Men Apocalypse, they did blow up Auschwitz, and nobody said anything. I thought that was odd.
I thought that was one of the best scenes of the movie.
Yeah, but I
that
found that
more about it being a bad movie.
Yeah, right. I just thought that was.
Isn't blowing up Auschwitz a good thing?
It was a good thing. I thought it was a powerful scene.
Yeah, I don't know. Just the idea of putting the war camps in it.
But it wasn't blowing up.
Blowing up the Holocaust Center, as Sam Spicer would say.
I've been trying to get him on the show. I can't wait. Topic 3. Here we go. All right. Topic 3. Joss Whedon has said about his upcoming Batgirl project, he wants to explore what damaged her so much that she decided to put on the cowl. From what I've seen, fans already seem willing to praise this genius approach after they slammed Zack Snyder for making Superman too depressed and Batman too unheroic. What is your reaction? And Justin starts us off.
That's my reaction. It's a giant fucking facepalm. Did they miss the point of Batman versus Superman? Did they miss the point of Batman in that movie? I mean, that's Batman's entire plot in that movie is he's dealing with his psychological damage, his psychological trauma, because he's lost faith in humanity. He's lost faith in himself. I mean, it starts with imagery of him falling, and it's all about his fall from grace. And then the end is him saying, men are still good. After Superman's proven to him what it means to have integrity and be a good person and live in line with your values. I mean, that's the entire point of the movie. It's just, there's just so much irony here because it goes back to what Jamil was just saying about Joss Whedon. He should be one of the left's biggest allies, one of the social justice crowd's biggest allies because he takes this approach. Because he's going to take it in a more victim mentality approach. That what made Batgirl a victim to become Batgirl with her psychological trauma. That's the direction he's going to go in, and that's the difference.
Yes, it is. Marty?
I have a hard time reacting to any Warner Brothers DCEU news because who the fuck knows if it's going to happen next week. So, I mean, when they get a script, when they get an actor, I'll start caring about it. But this sounds like another thing where they're just going to rush out a movie where we're going to have this tortured character, but we never see what tortured her because she's not in the movie yet. So we're just going to rush out a movie because we want to do Batgirl now because Batman doesn't want to do Batman anymore. So, I mean, I'm fine if I didn't mind the darker tones of BVS. I was had an issue with the bad storytelling than anything. We talked about the Killing Joke last year, about what they did with the Batgirl character. So some synergy on that one. And so, I mean, we've seen that character taken to some dark places, so I don't mind it on the big screen. I don't know if Warner Brothers will get behind it if it goes that dark, because they've seen it fail a couple times now. So, I mean, again, we'll just see what comes of it.
The wind-up and the pitch. Go ahead.
Well, look, I don't like Batman v Superman a whole lot. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I think the difference is that Joss Whedon is a better writer than David Goyer or Zack Snyder. So I have more faith in Joss Whedon. Plus, the problem with Batman vs. Superman is not Batman, it's Superman. Batman characters tend to lend themselves to a more grittier tone. And like with Barbara Gordon, if they're doing Barbara Gordon, her whole emphasis of being Batgirl, like her whole character is based in this one terrible event. If they're going to do that, that would be bold. Now, if it turns out any good with Warner Brothers fuckery, that's a whole nother question. Because they can't get out of their own way.
Yeah, that's for sure. I do agree with that. The studio needs to get out of their own way. So
I'd be fine if they took this idea and just kind of said, all right, we're going to detach it from almost what they did with Logan, and just say it doesn't really, fit in with the world. We're just going to take it over there and tell a separate story. That would be better. If you try and cram it into this chaotic world they've kind of created so far, I think it'd just be more of a mess than anything.
Are you right, Marty? But they're not going to do that.
No.
You know they're not.
It's still,
Well, it surely has to connect somehow with the Harley Quinn Gotham City Sirens movie, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Which,
I mean, there's no way they're going to have all these Gotham girl-powered movies and Joss Whedon, who's a girl-power writer-director, and not have those two movies connect somehow.
God forbid they just put a woman in charge of one of the girl power movies and see how that works out instead of.
I know, right? That would be shocking. But Joss Whedon is a good choice because he's almost a woman anyway. I'm just playing. That was a joke. That was a joke.
We're gonna get Bean tweets now about that.
Well, Joss does cry in public more often than an average woman. I will say that. So you got
There's
that.
truth in humor. There's truth in humor.
Yeah. But really, Jamil, you're saying Joss is pound for pound a better writer than Goyer or Snyder?
Yeah, that was surprising.
Yes, hell yes.
You're gonna
yes. Man, Goyer movies are terrible if he's by himself. He is.
You dropping that? You got to drop the qualifier real quick because you knew Dark Knight was coming your way.
That's bullshit. Because we all know, like those movies was written by Chris and Jonathan, and Goyer is a good idea man. That's what Goyer is. He's a good idea man. He's not necessarily a good script writer, and he never has been. Look at the fucking Blade movies. You know what I'm saying? Those are not good movies. They're okay. They're serviceable, but they're not good movies.
Were you going to shit on the first Blade?
It's okay.
You gonna? What about Dark City? Ooh. Okay, Joss Whedon can probably write a better quip than Snyder. I give you that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Snyder's not quit based. I mean, I think what Jamil's trying to say, and if I'm putting words in your mouth, please correct me, Jamil. I think that Goyer is not the most technically proficient writer, and he's not the most technically proficient director. But if you combine him with somebody who is technically proficient, like a Nolan or a Snyder, his writing excels. I mean, all you have to do is look at Da Vinci's Demon to see his shortcomings as a writer, but also to see why he is philosophically able to mesh with Nolan and Snyder. It's a lot of similar themes in Da Vinci's Demons, as in the Dark Knight trilogy, as in Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. But he doesn't have the technical skills that, say, a Joss Whedon has. I mean, Joss Whedon as a writer is incredibly technically proficient. I mean, his character arcs in his shows, I mean, it's undeniable. Even what he did, if you look at the Avengers versus every other Marvel movie except perhaps the Iron Man trilogy, the ability in that movie and the technical proficiency in it is just so much higher from a storytelling and a structure standpoint.
Yeah, no one says Avengers 1 is bad. I don't think that's celebrated as one of the best comic movies of all time. It's just that when Avengers 2, he kind of lost his mind or just got.
But to be fair, that was a lot of Marvel tinkering with him. That's why he quit.
Avengers 2 was a clusterfuck of a thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's literally why he quit. But like I was saying, it's just like I said, I trust him more. I think Zack Snyder is a good visual director, but again, you need to pair him somebody with a really strong script. And having David Goyer right by himself, compared with Zack Snyder's visuals, it just doesn't work. Since Zack Snyder's nothing but a slightly better Michael Bay. Yeah, I said it. It just I trust Whedon a lot more with this material. I just do, especially if they go with the Gail Simone run, which is a very good run, which DC killed in more in favor of a more kiddie approach. But let's see what they're.
I'm laying odds that it's just she makes 75 cents on the dollar at the library, snaps and turns into Batgirl. I think that's how Whedon's going to handle it.
Oh God, no!
I'm 60-40. It doesn't even happen.
Okay, well, there you go. All right, boys, we got a few minutes left. Let's kick over to this bonus topic. Chris Pratt got himself in a little bit of hot water the other day when he said, I don't see personal stories that necessarily resonate with me because they're not my stories. I think there's room for me to tell mine and probably an audience that would be hungry for them. The voice of the average blue-collar American isn't necessarily represented in Hollywood. There was a little bit of reaction to that on the internet. I want to know what your reaction is. Marty!
Funny enough, I kind of snapped judgment and wrote off a quick "fuck you" from the movie stuff Twitter account, and we got blocked by somebody. So, I think he walked this back pretty quickly, and I think he he can take he gets a mulligan on this one. It's not that big a deal. I mean, he apologized, and a lot of people pointed out there are a ton of Hell or High Water, Manchester by the Sea. There was a bunch of movies that celebrate average, good American, whatever the fuck. And also coming from him, I mean, he's making Jurassic Park, Guardians. He's tied to every other new fucking fantasy movie. So he's in a position now where he can go make those movies if he wanted to, but he's making popcorn movies himself. So I don't think it needs to come from a better, voice, if anything. Also, I mean, but he's a good guy. He's not a middle America guy either. He's from Seattle, from what I believe. So that's not exactly middle America. So I'm not sure what he's really referring to in this one.
Jamil.
Well, I know as Marty like to point out, as a person that see race in everything, it's really weird that people took this to this weird race place. Because look, again, as a person that see race in everything, everybody took this as him saying, "Oh, he wanted to see more white men on the screen." I'm like, you know what? You're conflating a lot. He didn't say that shit at all. Like, yes, there are a whole lot of blue collar movies, but he didn't say anything about race. It's stupid to say he's saying something tone deaf about certain people. Like, when did blue collar means white? Like that's the thing. I think maybe it's liberal elites, but like somehow blue collar means white. But I come from a blue collar family and we all black. So if he's just saying we need more blue collar movies, I don't see how you can conflate race with that comment, because he didn't say that. They always want to put words in people's mouths. It's fucking social justice words.
All right, Justin, kill it.
Well, actually, I think the only problem with this is that he did walk this comment back and he did apologize for it. I think that makes him a pussy, because if he feels that he isn't being represented, everybody else out there can fucking say they don't feel like they're represented. Why can't he feel like he says? Why can't he say like he feels he isn't represented? That's completely fair. Everybody else can say whatever the fuck they want. And I think his problem is not that blue collar isn't represented in a way. It's the way in which blue collar is represented. It's always they have to be redeemed, that they're ignorant, that there's something wrong with them, that there's a problem with them. And that's what he's responding to. I mean, how many David O. Russells are there out there? David O. Russell is someone who, look at how he deals with blue collar. He deals with the working class. He deals with that in a way that shows what they're really going through and what's important. But a lot of Hollywood is preaching to people and saying, this is what's wrong with you. I mean, Manchester by the Sea was brought up. That was a whole character piece about what the fuck is wrong with Casey Affleck's character.
Yeah, I kind of sided with Jamil on this one. When did blue collar instantly mean white? I thought Pratt was talking about class, not race.
But it's become it's with politics and everything. It's like middle America is real America, and that's kind of Hollywood
Middle
is now
America,
New York and Hollywood.
Okay. Mr. New Jersey, I know this is going to shock you. Middle America's not all white. I'm a minority in my town.
Really?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
There are black people out there?
There are. I'm just saying. But yeah, I
didn't mean that.
I know. But I mean, like, that's my point. Jamil.
But I'm saying, also to the point that I made earlier, this is also of our choosing. We choose to go see Fast and the Furious. We choose to see Transformers. We're going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy next week. And that's why Pratt shut up. That's why Pratt apologized, not because he cared.
Oh, Disney got a hold of him.
Disney called him and said, walk this shit back. Right. We want to make $1 billion next weekend.
Exactly.
So,
that's
again,
why.
we're not, and we didn't go see Moonlight. We didn't go see Hell or High Water, which is a great tale about people that are, real in America who are struggling with poverty and who are, have no options. We're seeing Star Wars and Avengers and and those are the movies also that Chris Pratt is in. So, again, I'm just not sure what footing he has to make that statement when he's making the big blockbuster.
Isn't Rey blue collar in Star Wars though? Isn't she blue collar?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Rey in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. She's a blue collar character, isn't she?
I guess she is. Yeah. I mean, she's a scrapper.
Again, like not saying Marty is wrong because he's not, but like for me, like from what I seen on my Twitter and all on social media, they was making it about race. It's not about race, especially in this country where not most, but a good chunk of minority populations are poor. So most of them are blue collar, just as much as white people. So for them to say that he's just a white man because he said representing me, he never said white. So for them to conflate that he means like there's not enough white people on screen, I don't think he meant that at all.
I didn't take it. So.
No, I don't think you meant that either.
No,
But,
I didn't either. But that's how everybody else took it.
Well, it's
That's
because
how.
it's because
taking away like La La Land. What is the movie where it's like fantastic? Like that's just made for Hollywood. All the other ones are just, like I said, big budget popcorn things. I mean,
oh, absolutely. There's a huge problem with the kind of movies we're allowed to see now. Yeah.
It's not that we're people are making these movies too. No one see I don't know if it's a chicken and egg thing. Are we not seeing them because the studios aren't putting money behind them, or are the studios not putting money behind them because they don't think we'll see them?
Well, I think the real truth is, since I think most of America is blue collar, who the fuck wants to see that in a goddamn movie? That shit is depressing.
That's true as well.
There you go. That's interesting.
It's like hood movies with me. I never want to see like the new hood movie about gangsters. I've lived that shit. I don't want to see that shit. Give me lightsabers.
Right. All right, guys. Let's start wrapping this up. Jamil, you said you were recording a podcast recently, right?
Yeah, we just recorded one this morning. Hopefully it'll be out by next week. Who knows? Depending on how Jax feels. Right. The Supernauts network.
There you go.
Jack Random Show.
Yep. Jack is he edits on his own time.
Yep.
Marty,
Marty,
what are we doing lately? Anything? Do we even know what next week's show is?
Next week we're kind of in limbo because it's in between 2 weeks. We'll have the Guardian. We'll be ruining America as we do a Guardians of the Galaxy roundtable. Next week, I guess we can do either just a stuff show, or maybe check out a retro review of some kind. We'll follow us on Movies and Stuff Show, and we'll tweet out our topics. And if you have any ideas, shoot us one on. We did the last Star Trek show last week because someone recommended it on Facebook. So
yep.
Bonus
points.
Facebook.
If you can make a suggestion and bash Dan at the same time, I'm all for it. Yeah, right.
We will jump on that.
Yes. Justin, what have you been up to?
Oh, I have my podcast. You can check it out. Welcome to the Midside. It's on iTunes. It's also on themidside.com/podcast. We talk about the news, all the social justice stuff, the broader cultural issues. We talk about entertainment. We give our reviews. We talk about it from the perspective of romanticism versus naturalism and how this affects the way films are made. And also, if you want to support us, we're on Patreon, and we do release Patreon-exclusive episodes. Our next one is on Lucy because it's by Luke Benson, and we're really excited for Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at some of Luke Benson's other work to see what kind of a filmmaker is he. Is The Fifth Element just like a one-off, happy coincidence, or is he actually that good of a filmmaker?
He's not bad. He's not bad. Fifth Element, Professional, La Femme Nikita. After that, yeah.
Don't answer my entire exclusive podcast in one.
All right, guys. I had so much fun. I can't wait to do this again in a month. Bye.
Peace.